Hey guys, in today's video, I want to take you through the analytic function lag. So lag is an analytic function. So analytic functions were added over the last 20 years in various relational databases, first in Oracle that I worked with, and then later on in SQL Server and MySQL and Postgres. And what they allow you to do, at least the lag function, is look at the previous value in a defined data set window. And I'm going to take you through what that looks like in a minute. Before these functions were available, you had to either write code, so you had to program to do the analysis, or you had to write very complex self joins in a table to align the data as you wanted to do the analysis. Lag will allow you to look at the previous value in a result set or a partition. And the syntax is you give it the lag operator, define the column name that you want the previous value to look at, and then you define your partition clause, which is a column or a set of columns that you want to partition or group your result set by. And order by is optional, but it's actually very important in the context of lag because it defines what the previous value was. So for example, let's say that you're looking at orders, which is what we're going to look at in a minute. You want to look at the previous order. What defines the previous order? Well, in our case, we're going to use the order date. So I'm going to bring up my SQL Developer window. And what we've got is our two tables that we're going to do our analysis over. We've got orders, which is basically like an order header. So you'll have one row in the order table per order. And then the order details, which is the individual line items of the order. And we've got a quantity ordered and a price for each item, which is your line amount. And this is an example just of just for one customer and their orders. So you've got your line amount, your order number, quantity, price each, and the multiplication of these two is what the line amount is. So in order to get our individual sums together, I need to run that query over all orders. So I've got something here that I've called a CTE, and I've done another video on a CTE, so check that out if you want to look at what CTEs are. All this is doing is summing up the values by the order number, customer number, order date, and status so that we can do analysis over them over time. I'm going to run the query, and now we're going to explain it. So we've got our order number, customer number, order date, status, and the sum of the line item amount, which comes from the CTE value here. But now we're going to introduce lag. So we've got the lag of the sum item amount over, and then we've got our partition by key, which is defined by the customer number. So for each customer, we're aligning their orders by date, and we could look at the previous value. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the current line item amount and I'm subtracting the previous value just to show we can do some sort of analysis over time. And this is just selecting from the CTE above. So when we go down to the result set, we can see that this customer number 103 has 3 orders here. The line item amounts is 145, 71, 60, 66, and 1676. And as you can see, we've got the lag matches the previous row in the partition. So in the case of the first order, it's null because there is no previous order. But as you march on into the subsequent orders for each customer, you'll see the previous one and they match. So 6066 lines up with the 6066 from the previous row in the data set. And then this is just doing our differencing between the two amounts. So We've got our line amount of 1676, and the previous value was 6066, and this is just the subtraction of the two values. So that's it for today. As I've said in the other videos, if you want to submit your individual questions, I've got a little app, and I'll put this in the description of the video. You can click on the link and you can go to submit a question. It'll just bring up this website, which is hosted at apex.oracle.com, and you can push the create button, and that would allow you to enter in your email so I can let you know when your video has been posted, or the answer to your question, and just type in your question text. And that's it for today. Thanks, guys.